Calls to drop stamp duty for foreigners. Let's have a look. Hello everyone, Florian.heise here, and welcome to another episode of HeiseSays. Now, this is an article that's been shared from the Australian Business Review. Calls to drop stamp duty for foreigners by Iwan Sunito. Global investors need incentives. Calls to drop stamp duty for foreigners. Now, I try to record all my videos at the beginning of the day. I usually find a whole heap of topics and just do it in one big bang. But occasionally, that's why I always have a shine of coffee, but occasionally something will come up, maybe during the day, some breaking news, and I want to just quickly jump on and talk about it, or something like this that I discover. So that's when the coffee may not be enough, and I go straight to the Bundy. And if you bear with me, I think I'll need it for this. And just so you know, this isn't sponsored, but I bloody well wish it would be. The Dark and Stormy. Cheers, guys. We're going to need it for this one. Oh, good old Bundy rum. So, let's drop stamp duty for foreigners. Oh boy. Oh boy. Here's the thing. Oh, oops, Aaron's. I should have turned that off. I'm not doing a live stream. Here's the thing, everyone. If we look at this chart here, the Foreign Investment Review Board, see that spike from 14, 15, 16, 17? See that black line? That is the percentage of building approvals which were for foreign buyers. Look how high that was. Now, often you'll hear people say, oh, we've got all these foreign buyers pumping up the market, and what's the Chinese? And then you get the standard people that want to defend China to the end of the world. They're saying, no, it's not. Look at these other countries that are investing so much more. Look at America. Look at the UK. Yada, yada, yada. The thing is, these other countries, they're correct. These other countries are investing more into Australia. But their investments are huge. They're not as many of them. They're like a big Bechtel investment in a gas plant or something. What's happening with a lot of the investments from China and the surrounding countries? There are more of them. The total amount may not be as much, but there are more of them. So that means they're going into a little thing that we all like to talk about and worry about on this channel and other things. Property. And look at that climb in property from 2006 up. Look how much that has gotten. Look at that. It's gotten to the point now where we really are in a K-shaped economy. I would say, well, no. So some idiot was talking to me in the comments about class consciousness, because I was critical of the demands that some of the unionists were making in calls. And I've actually had some people who work there reach out to me and agree with me. They're the smarter ones that have got something else planned on the side, but saying, there's a bunch of full-timers there that are just milking it. The casuals, But the thing is, class consciousness, it's not the workers and then the bosses. Not in Australia. No, it's those that are in property and those that are not. That makes the difference. And then it goes up to how many properties you have. Can you just support maybe the school fees of your kids on the property, the money you get from your property? Maybe it's the first step. Or maybe the property's running at a loss and you're negative gearing it. That's the first step. Then it pays off the school fees. Then it's paying for another 3 properties. Then another 4. That's our class structure here. You've got a whole lot of people that can't even get into the property market. They've got no chance of getting in. People are desperate. They want a correction because it's so insanely high. When we bought here, I thought it was crazy, the prices in Brisbane. And yet they're still getting higher. And now we have calls from people who probably have I bet you, Ivan, that 24 years. Let's look him up. 24 years on the board at Crown. It's probably been a long time since he's actually had to make ends meet or worry about stuff or live off a low income. And it's a different time in the 90s, 96 to now. How can people be making these calls? I've been asking. I've been joking. I've been going, okay, Let me know in the comments, what is the stupidest thing the people can come up with? And I'm joking about Mortgage Keeper, and you're all giving me shit that it's going to happen, because it probably will, but this is even more stupid. Let's drop it for foreigners. Let's increase foreign investment into property. They're doing every single thing they can to prop up this one part of our economy. The economic complexity, what we produce here, is down the toilet. It's crazy. People, we've got a population growth issue here in Australia. We're not growing naturally enough, so they're bringing people over to keep it going. People are scared to have families, scared to have children, because they can't afford to get a house. And you've got people putting arguments like this forward to bring global investors here, while normal people can't even get into a crappy little house. Where their arguments are the average house is going to cost $1 million. And what's the average wage? Well, we'll have a look here. We'll look at this. RBA. Nope, I'm doing it wrong. Oh, who cares? I'm drinking rum. We'll look at ABS. 1,700. Oh, wow, that sounds like a lot. But when you scroll down and you see all the different wages, where is it? It's breakdown per industry. Industry earnings. Have a look here. Mining skews it. If you drop mining, everything will drop a lot lower. Mining is skewing the average earnings. You need to look at the median. Look at the, accommodation and food services industry is only 1,300. Mining was 2,600. Sorry, no, 1,100. Mining's 2,600. Look at that difference. This is why when you read 1,700, there are a lot of people going, that's insane. Why am I not on it? Because it's skewed, guys. Because of this. You got all these people here, retail, accommodation. They're the ones that are copying it more than anything. Right now. So let's have a look at this. This really what you know what it'll be? It'll be Mortgage Keeper for foreigners to come in if they can pay a 50% deposit. That'll be the next thing, with no stamp duty or negative stamp duty. We'll pay you to buy it. So, prolific luxury apartment developer Ewan Suninto is calling on the New South Wales government to drop the 12% stamp duty imposed on foreign buyers, saying the residential unit market has been gutted by the lack of immigrant purchases during the past 9 months. There you go. There you go. At present, a foreigner paying $1 million for an apartment in New South Wales will cop an additional $134,000 in stamp duty, Foreign Investment Review Board application fees, and land taxes. Yes, they want to put a burden on foreigners stashing their money in this country. If you want to live here a long time, migrate over, or become a permanent resident, then you don't need to worry about it. That's fine. Welcome to Australia. Work hard. Good on you. But come on. We need a correction in the market. The cost of buying these things is just too bloody high for the average punter. You're gonna just exacerbate the differences in the classes here in Australia. And the problem is, the people with property, the people with control, they've got the capacity to get something published in the Australian, put out there in the consciousness. So the politicians will read that and they'll look at that and they'll, oh, that's a good idea, let's do that. We need to stir that investment. Where some people want a correction. They want these things to fall in value. They want some developers to feel some pain for oversupplying sectors. They're not going to let it correct, are they? They'll do everything they can. They will chuck the future generation in the gutter. They'll make us, they'll pile a burden of debt on us. They'll friddle away the value of anyone's savings. They'll destroy the economy. So what are we? We'll just be a quarry, pretty much what we are, a tourist destination, and holiday houses for the new global super government. He wants a temporary recall of the stamp duty on foreign buyers for at least 2 years, given he's been forced to slow down the construction pace of his apartment developments on the eastern seaboard, where he once sold 250 apartments worth $250 to foreign buyers alone each year. Sunito expects foreign buyers will pick up only 30 to 50 of the luxury apartments he is developing on the eastern seaboard this financial year. I mean, come on. Seriously. Who cares? That's the market. It's adjusting. If you want to do that, give locals a bigger discount. Even more so. He says there are already 210,000 fewer international students arriving in Australia since borders shut on March 20, which would cost the economy up to $20 billion in lost spending. Well, that's fine. Yeah, they'll come back, won't they? You've got to incentivize them. Crown Group used to sell about half of its apartment pipeline to foreigners made up of mainland Chinese buyers, followed by Singaporean, Indonesian, Cambodian, Korean, and a few American purchasers. There you go. Like I said. That is heating up the property market, everyone. See, times get tough. There's an oversupply. The market wants to adjust, so there are calls for intervention. They want to change the rules. Now, oh no, they're not going to... Some of their projects may fall over. Oh, some of these apartments may significantly lose value. Crown buyers, many of whom buy online, are split equally between owner-occupiers and investors. We need a stamp duty reprieve on foreign buyers. If you miss 50% of your buyers, that's a big job loss, Sunito says. The developer still has 70 apartments to sell at his 330-unit waterfall by Crown Group in inner Sydney's Waterloo. 2-bedders cost $1.2 million, and the penthouse has an asking price of $3.5 million. Sunito says he is still scouring for sites, but it is difficult to make a project work because of the lower projected sales volumes and slower sales. Yes, we're entering a recession. So, hang on. When did he graduate? He graduated with architecture in 92, and he's been at Crown since 96. So he graduated just as the recession began. So he should have some experience with it, with the recession. Coming out then, it kind of was petering to an end then, wasn't it? No, maybe. Architecture's a bit of a funny game. But then he went and did construction management anyway. So he should know. We have not stopped construction, but we've slowed down the construction, he said. The bank wants 70 to 100% of pre-sales of the amount of funding you are seeking. I've had to adjust our output. On a brighter note, Sunito says the lower interest rates are attracting more local buyers. Due to the pandemic, more buyers want a one-bedroom with a study. However, councils are against it because they think the study could be turned into a second bedroom. Yeah, it can. Let people do it. Come on. This is just... all of these things add to the cost of living. Add to the cost of saving for these apartments. He reckons the New South Wales government's current stamp duty amendment may take a few months to be adopted, and the result may not be immediate for the economy. You need something more immediate, he says. Since the pandemic hit, the closure of international borders has brought foreign investment in local property to a virtual standstill. So maybe that is why locals finally have a chance to buy something. Here's the thing. He's got the capacity to get exposure for this, and to lobby for it to change. That's why you need to be politically active, vocal, get out there, contact your politicians if you're in New South Wales, and say, no, sorry, I would rather we don't have this exemption in place. I would like the market to correct. The New South Wales property market needs foreign buyers and global investors to come back again, since they contribute about 50% of off-the-plan purchases of inner-city apartments. Otherwise, the construction industry and therefore jobs will suffer. Well, they will anyway. We're going into a recession, mate. They're going to anyway. The chances are There might be some creative destruction in the value of these things, so some people who may not have been able to afford it may be able to get into one easier and then don't need to work off a mortgage as big. That will create more economic activity. If your mortgage is 30% less, then you have more spending money for the people that are buying in there, and that creates jobs too. And maybe, just maybe, that might create a job in something that isn't just in bloody construction of apartments and buildings and doing the same shit over and over again. Do people do they not think about that? Or they don't care? I mean, he's a developer. He's making his money there. He wants more money. Come on, bring it in. We've got to sell. We've got to move these things. He's probably just focused on his sector. He's just hyper-focused on his sector. But, it's not a good thing for the nation overall. He says we should follow the model rolled out in Britain, where all home buyers, including those who are non-UK residents, have been given a temporary reprieve on stamp duty on purchases made during the pandemic's worst months. The British rule applies between July 8 this year and March 31st next year. How about you just take that and you just give people a tax deduction? How about the state government reduces the fuel excise or whatever other taxes they have there? What about just on alcohol? So the average punter can, when they're suffering through tough times and lack of freedom and restrictions and struggling to get together a house, they can afford more than just a six-pack of Bundy and rum once a month. Overseas arrivals in Australia has practically ground to a halt since the pandemic hit, and international student arrivals have dropped 80%. These are two of the major drivers of the apartment market in Australia. The majority of Crown Group's overseas buyers have traditionally been motivated by two factors. They're buying homes for their children so they can study in Australia, or they're investing in Australia since they believe in the strength of its economic fundamentals, or they want to use that to get a residency here after studying. We believe that if some of the financial barriers such as stamp duty are removed, it will motivate them to buy now in preparation for when they are again able to travel to Australia. In the financial year 18-19, overseas buyers spent $88 billion on homes, according to the Financial Investment Review Board. Most of them new homes because of the tax structure. And that overheats the entire market, not just the new homes. If you take out those $88 billion in purchases, you will see a serious dent in the number of new homes being built, which would with serious detriment to Australia's construction industry and of course, that means many fewer jobs. We want to keep the industry afloat. Okay, here's the thing. If you want price corrections in the property sector, you're going to have to realize there's going to be some tough times. There's going to be people that lose a lot of money. There's going to be people and industries that lose a lot of jobs. And here's the thing. My concern is you'll get people like this getting attention, getting media exposure, advocating for interventions like this that get even more and more extreme to just keep it going. And it may sound good. It may keep people happy. You'll be there at I'll be there at a function and there'll be someone saying, oh yeah, no, we've got this work, this, it's all good. Isn't the government great? And of course I'll open my mouth and go, you realise it's going to cause long-term implications. But where's the political will? It's kind of sad, isn't it? It's just going to keep kicking the can down the road even further and further. What do you think? Do you reckon this is a good idea? Should we encourage more foreign investors with stamp duty? Oh, why not? Why not? Why not just give them a 50% discount on the property purchase? Let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comments down below, guys. It frustrates me. It really does. Because in the end, because remember, these stamp duty, it's already been spent. It's been spent. They've already got assumptions on how much it's coming in. So by giving this stamp duty away or reducing it, exempting it, I'm all for reducing taxes, but you have to reduce spending as well. So if they don't reduce spending, that's going to be more debt for the New South Welshmen to have to pay back in the future. Do you want to be doing that? Do you want to be paying back or your taxes going towards, a subsidy for developers? And this is the problem with our system. It's not a free market. It's a crony capitalistic market. And the unions, the banks, the developers, everyone wants their own slice. How do we get out of this trap? Maybe just drink Bundy rum and not worry about it. Let me know your thoughts and opinions on this one, guys. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. If you're a fan and want to support the content I create here, there are a few ways you can. You can join us on YouTube or Patreon. You can support us using our affiliate links at Amazon, eBay, Independent Reserve or Kucoin, or AussieBroadband. You can buy our merch from HeiseSays. We make our very own pocket squares. You can see right behind me there. Or Teespring, you can get the mugs that are made overseas. You can support us using Gold Pass or via PayPal. Take care, everyone. Have a great day. And I'm going to relax with my Bundy rum and try and think of other stupid things the government could do to just kick this can down the road even further. Let's hope this doesn't happen. But I doubt it wouldn't. Take care. I'll see you next time.